Hello, welcome to JawnZone. I'm Christopher Javon, sitting here with Andre Kitchens.
Yeah, and I'm Andre Kitchens. This is our first podcast, so we're gonna be a little rough around the edges, but we're gonna get the shit popping though.
Yep. So what we're talking about right here, Philadelphia sports teams, a little bit of topics that have been driving us crazy. Obviously, the biggest one, tomorrow, Game 7, something that we live for, die for, we've been wanting forever, but this one, for me at least, this feels a little different, because I'm kind of conflicted. Want to know why, Dre?
Why is that?
Because our coach, I don't know if you've heard the report that came out, I don't know if it was today or the day before, but unfortunately, it looks like Brett Brown is on the hot seat. If he does not win this game, he's probably as good as gone.
As good as gone is the right phrase to use because he has been on the hot seat so long. I think you probably fried an egg on his ass.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, for the most part. I mean, Brett Brown, he's just been polarizing. I mean, you don't know if it was his coaching talent or his competency that got us here, or whether it was just the sheer of the players. I mean, there's a couple of things that, you could really factor in. I mean, one thing that you definitely factor in is that, he had to work with so many different starting lineups, changing the personnel out,
Correct.
and then always just, trying to make everything work in balance. He's never had a solid lineup as long as he's been on the Sixers.
Very true. So throughout the process, he's had to go through multiple iterations of different, I guess, teammates trying to get it together. And one of the most downsides to that is the process. I don't know if you're from Philly. You probably should know what that means. It's basically tanking. We were tanking. How can you fully decide on a coach's ability if he's tanking intentionally? And then right after that, he has very short amount of time to get the team together that is pretty good. So that's I guess, a little bit of leeway on his part. At the same time, I got to point out, it doesn't matter, as much as how much experience they have with each other. Brooklyn, the Nets, probably would have traded their entire team to have our starting big four.
Oh,
and
yeah.
most teams around the league would kill to have our starting big four. So, talent does rise, and it's just about motivating them. So let's talk a little bit more about Brett Brown's history. So to break him down, we started out going some positives, some negatives, give him a little leeway, but now we're going to break into opinion, and this is mine. Honestly, Andre, in the years that we've been seeing Brett Brown, there's two questions I want to ask. And has Brett Brown ever made some kind of in-game adjustment other than random subbing, which anyone can just do? You can just sub out someone, just put someone else in. There's no skill involved in that. Mm-hmm. But also, basically, he's stuck with these lineups. And do you think he's ever done something, whether it be calling specific plays, not just one play, because anyone can call one play out of a timeout and get an easy bucket. Mm-hmm. It's after that. Do you see him making any kind of adjustments in the history we've been watching him, ever? Have you ever seen him make some kind of game-changing adjustments when we're getting our asses kicked? And it kicked off a huge thing where we consistently, not in just that game, but consistently started to be the team known as, hey, if we're down on you, watch out.
Yeah.
Has that happened?
I mean, because for the most part, I think that, he's tried to make some in-game adjustments, especially at the end of the game. But most of those adjustments have really backfired on him. Mm-hmm. Whereas, for the most part, where he's come out of the gate just shooting, just get physical, rack up points. And then it seems like he just wanted to coast throughout, the whole fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And, they always talk about Brett Brown saying that he's a, great player developer. He develops great players. I mean, I think that's because what you see him do with Spurs. Mm-hmm. Because you had Kawhi Leonard,
correct,
and the Spurs, but then, you kind of question, was that through Brett Brown's and the coaching staff developmental tools, or was that just because Kawhi Leonard is, what you would call a generational talent?
Yeah. Plus, they had a culture of winning and raising pretty much nobodies before Brett Brown even got there. He was in Australia. doing God knows what.
God knows what. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do they even have the same? I honestly don't know. Do they have the same rules in basketball? I mean, they probably have a different shot clock system, but like they might even. I know the European League rules football and Canadian League football is completely different. I'm talking about like Americanized football, not soccer.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Maybe it's completely different. So I don't know.
Yeah, because I think in the Euro League, they more so emphasize fundamentals in Euro League.
Yeah, because they're not as athletic.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the Euro League will ever be as athletic as what we got over here. But I think that Brett Brown, the reason why he makes these adjustments is that he's making these adjustments based on the fundamental balance that the players usually do have in the Euro League.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, we de-emphasize that over the years. We got the one and dones. We got guys that are just like going for supermax contracts, and they are very good athletes. But over the years, I mean, they become better athletes, better than fundamentally sound.
That's true, because we got through the process a lot of high picks, and these guys weren't coming out, after 1 or 2 years. But even in Embiid's case, he was too injured to really do anything when he was at Kansas to learn. Although he's, a beast now, clearly has learned, but that really came before Brett Brown. So that brings us to my next point on Brett Brown, actually. So going in perfectly, one of the responsibilities of a coach is to train and make your players better. And when you get a player like a Ben Simmons, only 1 year in college, I mean, in high school, he didn't have to worry about a jump shot. He could just dunk on anybody.
Yeah.
Same thing most likely in college. And, I mean, he was a great distributor, and they weren't as good as defense. Now they get to the main league, and he's got to work on a couple of things. But can you name one player that Brett Brown has improved on one of their glaring weaknesses while training him since we've been here?
Yeah.
Who?
I mean, me off the top of my head, I can't really think of one player that I can think of. I think that since Brett Brown has been here, players have come and gone without any improvement. I mean, for instance, like you've seen it with Nerlens Noel, was that, he wasn't really good with posting up in the paint, or, his shot wasn't really there. But rather than work with, his skill set, Brett Brown, which is, for the most part, trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, and look at Okafor.
Yeah.
The guy didn't play defense. So, I mean, like, getting a guy to play defense is a part of coaching, but if you're not going to, you have to be able to plan around the weaknesses.
Yeah.
So, honestly, the answer to my question, no. I haven't seen him ever improve to anyone. Has Ben Simmons improved on his jump shot? Not in the slightest. Has Embiid worked on his turnovers? No. J.J. Redick better at defense or anything other than three-point shooting? No. Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, now you can give them a pass because they haven't been here long enough. But on the same time, a good coach makes the most out of his bench.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I mean, if you watch during the season, he's frightened to death to put in our bench. But you got to put them in the regular season because that's where they get experience. And, I mean, that's what you've obviously been training them over the season. None of the guys we had on the bench got better. Like, Landry Shamet was gone before we could even, do anything with him. He was a pretty nice sharpshooter.
Yeah.
But, like, who else? Like, we just gave up on too fast.
Yeah, because for the most part, it seems like he doesn't really want to develop these players. He more so wants to fit these players into his scheme. And if they don't fit his scheme, I mean, they're pretty much like out the door.
Yeah, and you can't do that when you have 4 blue chip players. I mean, 3.5.
Yeah.
Can you talk about Tobias Harris? I mean, we'll talk about why I think Ben Simmons, even though his shooting struggles are prevalent, he's still a blue chip player, at least right now.
Yeah.
But we'll get that in a tiny bit. Okay, moving on to the next subject. Question for you, Andre.
What's that?
We got a little situation on our handies. Usually in the playoffs, players do really good when they're really good. Like you've noticed this.
Yeah.
Some players who are more mentally tough, they seem to rise up, while other players that aren't seem to struggle. Now, I'm talking here, and you might have been able to guess who I was talking about Tobias Harris. Toby, part of Toby and Bobby.
Yeah, Toby
now,
and Bobby.
they work together great as a team. I noticed that. They get easy buckets and stuff, but we haven't been seeing them play together in the playoffs at all, basically. So that has kind of stopped. And what I was hoping for was, when Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid go to the bench or something like that, I mean, you have two superstars on the court at all times should be the plan. When he's on there, he still doesn't really take charge and take, like, I don't know, like, recently, occasionally he gets, like, points, but come on, you're a three-point shooter, you're a sharpshooter, you should be able to, I've seen, I don't know how many times you can make it and twerk his body around the defender to get an easy, like, layup basket. It's ridiculous. Like, just changing his hands in midair, it's really good. But I don't know why he doesn't just go and do that more. Well, so the question is, do we dump Tobias Harris and try to get someone like Kemba Walker, who is statistically and probably more reliable?
Well, my thing with Toby is that, I think that if we put Toby in a better position, whereas he can utilize his jump shot, whereas like we can actually spread, the offense so that he can go up there and he can himself, be in a position where he's best suited for. I mean, right now, we losing like Toby as like a switch 3-4, and really, I mean, we don't really know his identity. We don't really know who Toby is yet, and the reason why we don't know who Toby is because the lineup. It just keeps changing. I mean, Tobias Harris, I believe that, he's very good as a role player. Yeah. He's a role player. Like, he's a role player in a sense that, if you get him in position, he'd be very effective. But, like, I mean, I don't think that you can use Tobias Harris as, like, an all-around guy who, could drive up in the paint and then try to switch him outside. I think that, for the most part, you just have to get him in position to make those shots for you. I mean, I can see him even coming up, and I think if we look at some tape to see how they've used Ray Allen even in his older years.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because like with him, but right now, I mean, we don't have a definite identity. I mean, we're going out there, we're winning games. I think we're making some great progress, but I don't think that the team in its current configuration, everybody has figured out their definite roles. I mean. It definitely goes down to Brett Brown because if you listen to what he was saying during the regular season towards the end, he's like, I just got to get the right rotations. It's like, what does that mean? You got to get the rotations. You're just going to randomly sub in the right people at the right time and it's going to solve all of your problems? That's not coaching. No. You're not doing anything that like a middle school teacher basketball like intramural couldn't do. So like that goes to coaching too. Like you got to be able to understand fit, your system around the players we have. So something that hurts Tobias Harris, two things actually. One thing, he's bounced around the league to like 5 teams already. So any kind of consistency in his game is going to take a hit from that. That's just unfair to him. It's not like, ideal. He's almost like a pseudo star, almost right there. Yeah. That brings me on the next point, why we might have to dump him. Because there are teams out there like Brooklyn, the Clippers, well, I mean, not the Clippers because they just dumped him, but like other teams who feel that they're like a pseudo star or like a Scottie Pippen type player away from being really good. Also, teams that just straight suck and are in the middle of nowhere, Midwest, like Utah.
They already had Donovan Mitchell, but like there's some other teams that they just need one kind of star, so they're willing to pay the supermax for this guy. I don't know if we can pay Supermax because I don't know if we have his bird rights, but Max's contracts is what he's looking at and what he's capable of getting right now. So that's the only reason. We're not talking bad about him as a player. We actually kind of like him. Like, you like him?
Yeah, I like him.
He's a great guy, actually, and great person to be around. Like having in the city, I think he'd be a great, perfect, not perfect. Jimmy Butler is probably like perfect Philadelphia grit. But definitely you want someone like Tobias in your city, like a good, solid person, just a good-hearted individual. But he's probably going to be able to get the max. So should we, get someone more reliable like Kemba Walker? Who else is out there, actually?
I mean, look, I think we got a list of like soon-to-be free agents.
Yeah, but I mean, pull it up.
Got you. Yeah, because I mean, for the most part, man, when you look at the NBA, the players have so much more power than any other league. To pretty much like choose where they want to go, and I think that Philly is becoming more and more of a attractive destination for players like that. I mean, like we want to keep Toby, but I mean, if we can't have a supermax for him, then we gotta move on.
All right. So real quick, you guys can't see it. But
yeah.
Let me show you what happens to people who move to Philly. Like, if you go onto Google, and we're not trying to fat shame or anything, but one of the reasons people like to settle in Philly nowadays is because the food is freaking ridiculous. It's awesome. If you go and Google pictures of what Eric Snow looks like right now, it's a little different. So we're just saying, it's a good place to retire in. You have great food. It doesn't matter what you look like. We still love you. It's a great thing.
Yeah, so I mean, y'all say you want to come to Philly to get fat. Mm-hmm. I mean, that should be our slogan, right?
You won't be judged.
We love
you. Yes. And I mean, we have Charles Barkley. He jokes about things, but that's something I guess you got to know about Philadelphia is we kind of are incapable of not saying what's on our minds. Yeah. So we don't really generally mean offense by what we're doing or saying, but I mean it just comes out. We're just used to that. Maybe there's something in the lead in the water or something like whatever. You just can't blame us.
Something in the cheesesteak, man. Mm-hmm. Maybe we all cook on lead grills where. The grill. Our grills are made of lead, and we cook our cheesesteaks on them.
I mean, the cholesterol doesn't help.
Yeah, the cholesterol doesn't help.
It slows down the brain function.
Yeah, it makes you just more real if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm. But hey, I mean, it's great food. Who cares if you live 10 years longer or whatever? Hey man. So looking at these free agents, Kevin Durant not coming to us. I mean, would he be able to fit great on our team? That would actually be a great fit. Mentally, no way. Yeah. He doesn't understand that. I mean, he's complaining in Golden State. What does he think's going to happen if he goes to L.A. or New York? It's going to get 20 times worse. They're going to be taking pictures of him using the bathroom, eating sandwiches. He just lets someone into his apartment. Oh, you sleeping with men now? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Oh my god.
So he's probably. I mean, good for him. Take your money, but you're not mentally tough enough for this city. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard, we need a shooter, and he kind of would take Ben Simmons' role and Jimmy Butler's role too much. Probably not a good fit. Kyrie, again, not mentally tough enough for a big market city or even being the man, as you've seen.
Or even staying on the court for that point.
True. We already have one guy who is injured more than we like, and we're fine with that. Yeah. Be there when you can be there. But honestly, we think maybe Embiid should have taken a game off in the Brooklyn series.
Yeah, because Embiid is to us, Embiid is it's like when your parents get divorced and your mom got custody and, and he's he's like the dad that comes around once in a while. When he comes around, he's out a lot. I said you don't see him too much, but when he comes around, he always brings the goods, man. Yeah. And so we just call him divorce dad.
Okay.
Yeah. Divorce dad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Who else we got? Kemba Walker.
Yeah, that's the guy I kind of want. He's a great. I mean, we can throw him in the 2. He's a point guard, but we could probably throw him as a 2, or even just switch on, switch off with Ben Simmons, which we'll talk about. Maybe his position switch later if we think that might be a thing. But right down below him, actually, someone that we probably can't get, but if we did, that would maybe be the best case scenario, is Klay Thompson. The most mentally consistent person in the league. Yeah. And also, he's a beast when it comes to 3-point shots. Exactly what we need, someone to stretch the floor.
And you know what, man? And you know what else, man? I think every NBA team, they got at least 2 light-skinned dudes on the team.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
You gotta do that. I mean, we need some diversity, man. I mean, Ben Simmons, I think he feels a little bit alone in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why he's always having Kendall around. But
Kendall around.
Who knows? Maybe Kendall and him not going in a relationship anymore has actually made us worse. I know. If you look up the statistics, I think we were 21-4 when she came to games.
Oh, when she came to games.
Yeah. So honestly. Maybe it's because she's not a Kardashian. There's no Kardashian curse. She's just a Jenner.
A Jenner. Yeah, there you go. I mean,
giving out Pepsis or whatever.
I mean.
All right, so the next guy, Jimmy Butler. Pay the man.
Pay him.
All you guys in the regular season, and I love you guys, nothing against you, but, I mean, we were a little worried. And I heard a lot of people saying, hey, he's not going to get paid. He's not showing up. He's not doing anything. Yeah. Jimmy Butler is... Whoa, he's 6'7"? I didn't even realize he was at the hall.
Damn.
But maybe that's a typo. But anyway,
Maybe it's a
Yeah.
little high top,
I thought
little,
he was like
little
6'4",
high top you got.
6'5". Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
also like, dude, he shows up in the playoffs. Man is playing possibly a broken wrist.
Yeah.
Don't go and tell the other teams this, but if you look at him a lot during the game, A, he's not really dunking and as much as he used to, and B, occasionally he grabs his wrist. You know,
Yeah.
he's been going through wrist problems towards the halfway point of the season, I think, until now, and honestly, he's still showing up, doing that TO in the Super Bowl, just pushing through, and that's what we love in Philly. Although we don't want him, honestly, to hurt his wrist to the point where he can't play. But Philadelphia is perfect for Jimmy Butler. I don't know. He said he wants to choose where he's going to sit down with 5 of his friends and say, hey, where do you guys want to live? Honestly, we should be sending them gift baskets right now. We should be sending them daily cheesesteaks. If anyone knows who Jimmy Butler's friends are, go find them and give me their contact information, maybe where they're living, and we'll start sending them packages, like some really nice shit. They deserve to be here just as much as Jimmy. Jimmy is the man. He's showing it. He's clutch. He's a closer. He's got that Philadelphia grit. He admits when we played like shit. And that's actually one of the biggest things. Brutally honest. We love that in Philadelphia. Blue collar worker, shows up when it matters most. He needs to be here. Just pay the man.
Yeah, because like in Philly, man, we always we value heart over almost a lot of things, man. I mean, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, you gotta know how to play. I mean, we're not gonna put we'll put you on the court if we're not gonna put you on the court like you're a scrub, but if you got a heart and you just want to stay around, like Philly's definitely the place to be. I mean, and then Jimmy, him, he's a max player.
Yep.
Definitely a max player.
Oh, yeah. Worth every penny. And if you go look at Iverson, I don't know if you go and rewatching the finals when Iverson lost to those cheating-ass Lakers who just buy the best team now. Great to see them not so good anymore. I mean, I don't hate LeBron or anything, but Lakers are against us. Although, if I had to choose between the Lakers and the Celtics, Lakers every time. I hate the Celtics on another level.
Oh, yeah.
But look at this. Iverson's injuries during the season before that finals, and he still dominated and won us game 1 in the finals. Right quad contusion, right knee sprain, left ankle sprain, inflamed right toe, right hip contusion, left hip pointer, partial right shoulder dislocation, left knee contusion, tailbone contusion. I think they spelled that wrong. Confusion.
Confusion.
Your tailbone isn't.
His ass was confused. He didn't know how to shake it. Huh?
But I've been injured on a tailbone. That shit hurts.
I
think I'm pretty sure what the doctor is saying, like I chipped a little bit of the bone. It's like I got nerve damage down there. Terrible. Right elbow bursitis. That just sounds bad. And then a sprained left thumb. That's just what made it to the injury report before the finals. And he came up and won game 1. That's what you need. That's what Philly wants. That's what Jimmy Butler is.
But we got swept.
I mean, gentleman's sweep. We won the game 1. We won game 1. He took it to him. He showed him, hey, I belong here, and that's all we can ask.
I mean, it didn't we showed some heart.
Dude, Chris Middleton. I didn't even realize he was a free agent. He would be pretty good, actually, even if he's playing the same position as Jimmy Butler or whatever. Honestly, no, shooting guard. Well, we have power forward. Okay. So, small forward. We just don't.
The rest of the list is just...
Yeah, the next list starts to get bad. Like, not really that good. So, I don't know. Maybe go for Chris Middleton. Maybe we can not get him at a max.
Maybe go for Porzingis.
Yeah, no. I don't know. He's going through some shit right now in his New York case, and I mean, you never want to hear anything like that, and I mean, we just hope it's not true. So moving to the next subject, we were just talking about free agency.
Just going down the list, man.
So okay, that was going for Kemba. I'd say probably we should maybe go for Kemba. If we don't get him, honestly, I'd be fine if we re-sign Tobias, but if we can get better, and you're going it's the same contract. If you can get a better player for the same contract, you do it every time. And that's what they showed this season, trading for all these guys.
But like I said, I mean, Tobias, I think that he could be a good player if we just put him in the right position. But I mean, I guess we go move on to the next thing.
Okay.
And so, for the most part, with the team that we have right now, you know, I mean, they played less than 25 games together in the current lineup, right? But it seems like, you know, they're still like chiseling out their roles. They're still trying to find, you know, where they fit in that.
Yeah.
And so I guess what we will want to bring up is that is there a certain worry about Ben Simmons? I mean, for instance, like we always heard that he was a generational talent.
True.
You know, we've heard that, you know, they call him Baby Magic. I mean, LeBron calls him Baby King.
I called him Baby Magic.
Yeah, you called him Baby Magic. Yeah. And then it's just that, you know, it seems as though like his jump shot is just not coming around.
True. And and the playoffs is getting shown every series.
Yeah, every series, yeah. I mean, for the most part in this series, I mean, you know, he's been disappeared, man. Like I think somebody, you know, magician just put the cover over him and said, "Oh, now he's gone."
Or maybe he saw something he didn't like and spit out of there.
Yeah.
Maybe someone said something. Who knows?
I mean, I know, right? You broke up with Kendall.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm banging her now.
I'm banging her now. Yeah. But it's just that, you know, one of the biggest words about Ben Simmons is his, you know, his mid-range shot, his jump shot.
Yeah. Or even his attacking the basket prowess. Like sometimes he just goes dark. Like he just does not like go to finish. Even if he has a clear lane, he'll just jump around and try to throw a pass, and it usually gets picked off or it goes out of bounds.
And it's like, you know, I mean, you always like a team player. Everybody likes a team player, but I think that sometimes, Ben, you need to be selfish.
Yeah, you're being predictable.
You're being predictable. I mean, you know, I think that if you go, you gotta have sort of that ego. A lot of people are like, oh, hey, man, you know, he's too selfish. No, I mean, what the hell am I saying? Like, a lot of people say, like, hey, you know, he's great. I mean, he's passing the ball around. He's a facilitator. But, like, dude, like, you can't be a facilitator right now. You know what I'm saying? You got to show your teeth.
Exactly.
Show your teeth because
the playoffs is make it, break it time.
Yeah, make or break time, man. And you do, you know, I think that for the most part, even if his jump shots weak right now, that's something that you can work on all season. But I think that, you know, Ben Simmons, for the most part, needs to just, like, attack when he can.
Definitely agree.
Yeah.
And why don't you bring up our next question or point?
So, like, I think I was thinking about earlier, man, was, like, I was thinking about, you know, what if he's not meant to be a point guard? What if I can ask, what if he, instead of a point guard, you know, this guy, he needs to be put in a position where they feed him the ball and he becomes the motherfucking cookie monster. You know what I'm saying? You just feed him the ball and he's just totally physical and he goes toward the point. Because I see Ben Simmons as a generational talent as far as athletics. Yeah. But, you know, for the most part, I just think that he needs to go up there and attack. And I don't think a point guard is necessarily a position of attack. Yeah. What do you think, Chris, man?
Okay. Well, I got a couple of feelings on this, and I want to point out some things that we already actually mentioned. First of all, how old is Ben Simmons? What is he, like 21?
20, yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, goddamn.
We're
supposed to be sports talk. We don't know that.
Yeah.
He's 20 something.
He could be. Whatever.
He's young.
He looks older.
Yeah.
So Magic Johnson, I called him Little Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson played a couple of years at least in college before going pro. He might have only played 1 year. I don't know. But I know he played 1 year at least because when he played Larry Bird in the championship round. So, like, he had a little bit more learning, I guess, from that. Not to mention, when he went to the league, he actually didn't shoot that good. He was barely shooting. You might see occasional, like, three-point shots. But when it came to mid-range jumpers and things like that, he really wasn't that good. But he eventually just turned into that. So that brings me to my next point. Like, we have a guy who made Rookie of the Year, and maybe, who knows, he might even win it again this year. But there's the thing where, you know, he's also made an all-star game after the second year. Yeah. But it goes to, like, Brett Brown not being able to coach that out of him. You got to be able to turn him into someone who can occasionally take a shot. So, honestly, I'm not sure if a position switch to maybe like the 4 is the best thing for him. Because let me ask you this. How many people in the league, in judging from his whole career so far, what we've seen, not just like I guess in the playoffs, but how many people in the league are better at like passing than he is? Behind the back, through the legs, around the back, like round guys, things like that.
But see, man, I think that for the most part, man, you know, I mean, we're not talking about quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like I think anyone can learn how to pass it, but
Yeah.
for the most part, pass is not what we need. We need points on the board.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We need points on the board. You know, we need people to pressure these guys.
Yeah.
We need people to get physical. I mean, passing the ball and finesse is okay.
Uh-huh.
But like for the most part, like we just need someone who's going to drive down that lane.
Okay.
And I think that as a point guard, you know, a point guard is more about facilitation and finesse. And I think that, you know, we got to unleash the beast, man. Like we got to have him in a position where you're feeding him the ball, and you know he's using size, he's using speed and athleticism, you know, to score points.
Yeah.
Or at least put other teammates in a position to score points. I mean, for instance, man, I think that I see Ben Simmons as a guy that, you know, like, you know, he had Tobias and Ben Simmons on court at the same time. Whereas like Simmons can like threaten, you know, to go up the lane, you know, dunk it, do whatever, or get close. While you can have Toby himself, you know, that would free things up from Toby, and Toby be in a position where he could just shoot that ball, and he can make sure, you know, he make the shot. Yeah.
So like you're starting to convince me. I can see it go both ways actually now. Staying as a point guard, mostly because we have such other beasts on the floor. You know what I mean? That's at least the plan. But also, I could see him maybe moving to the 4, actually, now that you mention it. But I would like to point out something that isn't true, that is usually used as a counter-argument against what you say. And, again, I don't agree with this, but what people do say is like... And again, I don't think this is true. Embiid is big guy, and he likes down in the post, and we try to throw Simmons down in the post too much. They won't be able to fit together. But, like, have you ever heard of Tim Duncan and David Robinson?
Yeah.
And where did they play? The Spurs. Like, the coaches got it out of them. Where was Britt Brown? Not there. So, like, he just, if you're a good enough coach, you can give me whoever, as long as they're all-stars, and I'll make something out of it. I'll make an offense around that. So, like, having Ben Simmons as the 4... I don't think that's like a good excuse not to put him there. Of like, oh, there's too many big guys down low and they don't have space. Well, I saw Dr. J, Moses Malone doing like behind the back passes and around guy passes, like really down low the post, and they were just scoring off of that.
Yeah.
Like Embiid, who's gonna step in front of Embiid? And if someone is dumb enough to step in front of Embiid, he can just quickly drop it off 2 feet away to Ben Simmons, who finishes it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's foolproof actually to fix what was wrong with Embiid whenever he gets doubled or triple teamed.
Yeah.
He gets double, triple teamed, and he's taking it in, and he's like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. So then he freaking he tries to either shoot or pass, and he ends up losing the ball. But the thing is, if Simmons or someone was right under the basket right there, he's being triple teamed.
Yeah.
There's no one guarding the basket. You throw it to the guy or bounce it to the guy, and you get an easy 2.
And that's just it, man. It's just that easy. You know, I mean, I'm saying that I'm not a damn coach or anything, but like, you know, it's just that easy. I mean, you put your big men in big men situations, man. Yeah. You know, I mean, you put your finesse in finesse. And like, you know what I'm saying, instead of just like try to say, oh, okay, you're a 5 or you're a 2. You know what I mean, just be like, look, man, we will put you at where, you know, you're the most effective.
That makes sense. Maybe get rid of positions altogether, because we have a couple players that are just too good to be bogged down in things. Just make good plays. Also, actually, I wanted to say before we switch it to the next subject, when you look at Giannis wasn't Giannis when he first came out.
No.
He couldn't shoot at all. All he can do is dunk. Now he's worked on that, gotten a little better. Kawhi Leonard actually was kind of mediocre when he came into the league.
Oh, yeah.
But they took him out. They put him into the G League or the Summer League, whatever. They kept on like working on every single thing. First they started with the foul shots. Then they went, I think, to the strong defense. Or, it doesn't really matter what order they went in, but they took care of everything to now he's probably the most complete player in the league. I mean, besides maybe Embiid when Embiid's healthy.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I mean, what they did was that I call it the Danielson treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though these players, you know, they're great athletes and all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They still got to, you know, wax floor, you know, sand floor. Yeah. Y'all say wax on, wax off, baby. Y'all say, like, that's how it has to be. I think that when it gets to the league, I think you still have to always go back to the fundamentals. True. Yeah. So I guess, man, you know, with these players that we have right now, with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and, you know, the free agent players, we want to say, this process, trust the process.
Yep.
This process has been going on for years and years, and it's always trusted.
Yep. I was his number one supporter, actually, because, I mean, looking at what happened to AI in the finals, this is the only way to get good.
Exactly. I mean, this is so that, we could get past, like, the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But even if we do, I mean, so far, what has the process produced for us, and was that process successful?
Well, that actually brings me back to kind of like Brett Brown. Let's say I was a coach this year with these guys. Do you think I could have gotten 50 wins?
Possibly.
Exactly. So, like, people always list, like, oh, he got us 50 wins from having, like, 13 or whatever. It's like, I could have done that. What did he actually do?
What did he do?
So, is the process successful? We kind of dumped all of our assets and just went all in, cashed in all our chips. Unfortunately, a couple of the guys that we got were, like, expiring contract players, Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. But, like, was the process successful? I'd say for a couple parts, yes, and a couple parts, no. For getting the draft capital and getting some generational superstars, which I don't think, obviously you should dump after 2 years like a Ben Simmons. Like, maybe you switch him or just train him better. You can't just get rid of generational guys, because look at the draft where we got Evan Turner. We had a second overall pick, and John Wall didn't even end up, like, super amazing or anything. You can't just count on, like, getting good guys, especially now we have Embiid. When are we going to pick in the top, like, 5 again? Probably not. Yeah. So, like, is it successful? I would say to a point of getting the talent that we need. We're better off than when we were, but the ultimate goal was to get into the finals, if not just win it all. And I don't see that ever really happening with Brett Brown. Honestly, he hasn't shown, like, really anything other than, like, I need to switch, like, rotations or whatever. And people just support him while just listing his, like, statistics that the players actually got themselves. So, like, if we get a better coach, I think that would just finish the process off. Because, well, I don't know, like, how it's going to go in this summer. It really depends. Because right now I'm conflicted. Should we even win Game 7? Because I know, in my heart at least, Brett Brown is not the coach of the future that will get us to win or outthink or outsmart any other coach, which I've never seen happen whenever we're playing a team. It's always just Embiid shows up or someone. Yeah. So, like, was the process successful in getting the talent and stuff? Yes, as long as we can keep Jimmy Butler and get someone else. And also, I mean, in the future, we want to get farther than, like, the second round.
Well, my thing is that I think that the only thing that we got out of this process was Ben Simmons. Yeah? Yeah, because, I mean, let's look at some of the casualties of the process. Yeah. Is what I like to call it. So, like, Nerlens Noel, part of the process, dumped them off.
Gave up too soon.
And I said Jahlil Okafor, same situation.
Kind of, yeah. Like, maybe we didn't give up too soon, but, I mean, like, why even draft a guy who doesn't even want to be here?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he went. He's Hollywood. I mean, who else? I mean, Markelle Fultz. I mean,
my God,
that he looked great, but
don't even
that
talk
didn't
about
work out.
Brian Colangelo to me, like,
oh my God,
Colangelo just ruined the process. So that's another thing you gotta keep in mind. Like, that guy came in, usurped Sam Hinkie's great process, and started making the worst decisions ever. Like, giving up. It wasn't even as bad getting Markelle Fultz. But the fact is, we could have gotten Markelle Fultz at 3rd overall and stayed put and not traded a first-round pick to our biggest rival in the history of the NBA. Like, we just got taken to school in that, and they ended up with a better player than we did.
Well, that's why I say, like, the only thing that really came out of the process was Ben Simmons. Because, with Ben Simmons, it was just like, well, with Joel Embiid, I mean, he was picked with what, third overall pick?
Yep.
And because the only reason why he fell to 3rd because he got injured.
Yep, injury history.
Yeah, the injury history.
Yep.
He was a great pickup, but that was pretty much by chance, by luck.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I mean, he fell into our lap. So I say Ben Simmons is really, the product of the process, and I will declare right now that the process is over.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of like cashed in all the chips, and we said, hey, we're going in. Did we do it too soon? Not necessarily. Did we give it too much? Maybe.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to have a bench to fill it out. But like that also just giving up on certain players too soon.
Yeah.
But another player that you forgot to mention who like kind of just flamed out, Michael Carter Williams. He's not really doing much right now. But like maybe some of these players wouldn't be so bad currently if they weren't given up on so fast. Like we were trying to stock as much talent as possible, and as soon as Brian Colangelo got in, he's like, let me just get rid of some of these people for absolute nothing.
Yeah.
Now we got what's his name, Elton Brand, who's like, okay, let me get rid of it for something. He actually pulled a couple of like amazing moves out of his ass. I don't know how he did that, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, because I think that Brian Colangelo, man, I think that, for the most part, he tried to like stake his claim by just destroying. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And like I always thought, it's way easier to destroy than to create.
Definitely.
So basically, like when he came in to the Sixers organization, for the most part, he just wanted to sort of like, how can I say, piggyback off of what Sam Hinkie does.
Yeah, you see him in the Instagram photos, all up in the videos.
Yeah, yeah, all up in the videos and things like that. And like that's what it is. Just that, he figured, okay, maybe I could just take everything good that Sam Hinkie does, and just eliminating some of the bad or some things that are perceived as bad. I can make myself look better.
Definitely.
So basically throwing him in under the bus without, doing it blatantly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
And so, like, for the most part, we talk about the process and everything. And the process is, for us getting an NBA title. Or most of them, right?
That's it. Why else do it?
Why else do it? And, that window is getting smaller and smaller every year. We don't have the draft capital.
Nope.
A lot of players will be attracted to this place, but for the most part, we just don't have, the capital that we used to have. And so my thing is the end game, right?
Yeah.
The end game. If we cannot beat the Warriors in the finals, because like the Warriors are going to the finals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a shoo-in. Like I'm not. There's no way in hell.
Sorry, Denver. We love you actually because I actually lived around Denver and they're great peoples. Sorry, what am I supposed to say? You guys are gonna stand a chance? Like no one does. Like it's not anything against you guys. They kind of had a snake join their 73 win team. What are you gonna do about that? Like,
what are you gonna do about that? Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like, what's the end game if we don't make the finals? Well, not just making the finals, but like, what's the end game if we don't win the finals?
Like nothing. Like that's what it's all about. We're not doing this to have higher ticket prices and go to like miserable playoff series where we just get our asses handed to us, or we look like idiots, or like people just aren't healthy.
Yeah.
So that is the end game. You have to think like that. You can't. The worst place to be is in the middle of the pack or towards the top, because there's such a big gap between the Warriors and everyone else. You have to be that omega team, not even a super team, an omega team now to just stand a chance against them. It's not even fair. But I mean, they're going to be breaking up. Hopefully, you never know what's going to happen. We're going to keep on praying that they undestroy basketball, which is just not like the hell.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it, man. I think that. We need a return to an emphasis on coaches. Like I said earlier, I mean, the players in the league...
Steve Kerr isn't doing shit. Yeah. He doesn't do a damn thing.
Yeah, and the power balance in the league is shifted too much toward the players. It's shifted too much toward the players, whereas a coach cannot effectively, implement his system. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to have another coach with the control of Phil Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
In the current state of affairs. Like, you're not going to have another coach like they Phil.
Greg Popovich won't happen again, probably.
Won't happen again. Yeah, because, like...
I don't care how many titles Steve Kerr, quote-unquote, wins.
Yeah.
Like, like, it doesn't matter. He's not kidding me.
Exactly. I mean, but I think that, just like with any movement, there's a pendulum swing. I think he'll get back to that. But I'm not seeing that anytime in the near future.
Me neither.
Yeah, but I think the game is still solid and intact, and it's constantly growing.
Okay, one last point before we get on to the Eagles, because or not necessarily running out of time, but we don't want to bore anyone to not listen.
Yeah.
But medical staff concerns. This actually kind of applies to the Eagles as well. Multiple players on both the Sixers and Eagles who left have complained about this. And off the top of my head, I'm going to start listing some of the things. Okay, we get Embiid, and, you know, he was supposed to be out for one season, and then we reevaluate him afterwards, and it showed it wasn't his foot or whatever wasn't healing, and his back, maybe it was back too, wasn't healing.
Yeah.
We had to wait another extra year. We get Ben Simmons. He can't play his first year because of an injury. What was it, in like the first week of practice or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Zaire Smith. We get him. He breaks his foot in like the first week of practice. Like, he's out. Then we had Nerlens Noel was just an Embiid. They were already injured before we got them and stuff. But, like, I remember Jordan Matthews and Emmanuel Acho and the Eagles. Like, they were having problems with them, too. Like, they were not diagnosing things right. And actually, I remember not even that long ago, there was a series that we were playing in 2019 against this team called the Raptors. Oh, yeah, we're actually playing them right now in the playoffs. And what's happening to Embiid? Game 1, knee tendonitis. Game 2, well, actually, I forget which one it was, Game 2 or Game 3. But he had the stomach bug. And then there was a game break where he dominated. And then after that, he had the flu. And then after that, he had a respiratory infection. What the hell is going on in that doctor's room? Yeah. Like, he would have been healthy if they diagnosed him properly. And this is a problem that's actually affected me. When I was in high school, I developed a stress fracture in my left ulna, basically my forearm, the bone in there. Yeah. And I went to the doctor, and after looking up, on Google, I told him what I thought it was after telling what it felt like. And he's like, no, there's no way there's a stress fracture. And then, like, I come back 2 weeks later, complaining it's still hurting. And then we go get an x-ray, and he's like, oh, would you look at this? And he points out something on my bone. This is a stress fracture. And I was like, I know, asshole. You were the fucking idiot who didn't diagnose me. Well, hell, even a couple weeks ago, like actually a couple months ago, maybe a month or two, I don't even remember what it was. My throat swelled up like really, really big. And basically, as soon as I got in the doctor's office, the doctor immediately just said I had mumps, didn't really run any tests or anything for anything else. And like freaked me out. Like the CDC was like calling, talking to all these weird people, like keep me quarantined and shit. Turns out the test results are negative. And that stress fracture thing, I'm actually pretty sure that was back in Philly, around the Philadelphia area. And I think I went to the doctor who bragged that he worked on like the Sixers and Temple basketball team and maybe the Eagles. Yeah,
because I mean the major, as far as like medical staff for the sports, the medical providers for sports are Novacare and Rothman. I mean, I don't know too much about the medical industry itself.
Yeah,
but it kind of brings it to a point. I mean, for instance, what medical staff do we have in Philly?
Not a good one. Like seriously. Okay, so yeah, listen to Jordan Matthews. He was saying things like they basically were just not just mixed diagnosing. They're kind of dismissing all of the players' injuries when they get injured. They just say, "Oh, you're the bruise," or things like that. Try to get them back in there. They're doing more harm than they're doing good by just not diagnosing people properly and shit like that. And then, like, as soon as Jordan Matthews had been traded, from us to the first game or practice, he went and he found out that like how injured he actually was.
I mean, maybe.
How is it that the doctors in Buffalo, like the doctors in Buffalo, are outdoing us? The doctors in Philly that are dealing with the sports team, get your shit together. I'm actually sick of this. Our guys are getting injured, and you're intentionally misdiagnosing them. You're not diagnosing them correctly, but to the point, it's intentional negligence. You're not just misdiagnosing them by accident. You're just trying to get them out there, and honestly, I have this stinking suspicion you guys just don't want to do your freaking jobs. So, like, come on. This is, like, we're paying you too much goddamn money, and you're misdiagnosing people. People are getting injured every single time they step foot on our court in our practices. Every year, the rookies is like initiation ritual. What are you guys doing? You're taking like a hammer to each rookie's foot? What the hell is happening? Just make sure you do your research. Like, this is really getting me upset right now.
You know what I think it is, man? I think that it's more so, I really think that it's more so. I think it's just like the psychological effects of playing in Philly.
But like everyone, and then like
it's like
everyone. I don't know. Like like they say that stress causes damage, but like this is happening even when we're doing good and shit. This is happening when people are stepping court on the first day of practice that they're like breaking something. Like what is the medical exam? Here, we're gonna shoot you with this gun, and if you live, you pass. Like, what the hell are they doing? Like, I'm gonna diagnose you. Are you gonna run any tests, Mr. Doctor? No, but I think you have this. It's like, hey, can you check this out? You're fine. This is basically what's going on. So I don't. You can say what you want. I just have my opinion on it, and I'm just getting sick of those guys. Like, get your shit together. All right, moving on to the Eagles, because this affects them too. All right, something that I was worried about going into this season, even though we signed or got Deshaun Jackson, all these great acquisitions, is how our offensive line holds up. Doesn't matter how many weapons you have on offense. If your left tackle or right tackle is just not getting the job done, your quarterback is going to stink. Doesn't matter if they're Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers is getting his ankles and his collarbone broken almost every season. Their season's derailed.
Yeah.
So we got, kind of solved. We drafted the guy. What's his name again?
Andre Dillard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our favorite guys now, even when we can't remember his name until the next episode.
Yeah.
So, not that that's a problem, but that's exactly what the type of draft pick I wanted. Refocus on the lines, start from the ground up, protect our guy who's been injury prone, get some replacement help for Jason Peters. So whenever he comes out for those 80 snaps or whatever, like he only plays for 80 snaps and the rest of them, someone has to go in there. Yeah. Or let's say he gets injured again towards the end of the season, we need a Super Bowl run offensive lineman. Here we go. Yeah,
because like Jason Peters, like we already know. I mean, people have said it. It's the swan song. Like he's not coming back next year.
Love the guy. One of the greatest ever to do it. Father Time is undefeated. I'm sorry, my dude. We want you to play it forever. And in fact, we think that they've been holding on to him maybe a year or two, a little longer.
Yeah.
Not that he hasn't been great, because he still shut down Khalil Mack in the playoffs, like no problem. Like still a beast when it comes to it. But still, it comes to a point where someone is such a good presence and positive player in the locker room that you can see greatness in their coaching abilities, like such as when we had Big V in our Super Bowl run, who didn't let up a single sack in the Super Bowl. You know who I saw on the sidelines, coaching him up, giving him advice, being around the team? Jason Peters. Yeah. Coach material written all over him. Harold Mudd, you need to do the right thing. Yeah. Make some room on your staff. Get him in there. Guaranteed contract for at least 5 years. The guy is phenomenal. He's true Philly. We need him.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not just because, like, his stature, man. I think because, for the most part, he was an undrafted tight end. Mm-hmm. And he actually had to learn the position.
Exactly.
So it wasn't something... I'm saying, because as a tight end, that's sort of like on the end. I mean, you got the athleticism and you got the size to block certain pass rushers, but pretty much like when you get into it, I mean, a left tackle and a tight end are vastly different positions.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So like he had to learn himself the fundamentals, and then we also go back to the fundamentals, and with that, if he can pass that knowledge on, or if he can stay on the Eagles staff, like even as a consultant.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Even as a consultant. And then I think that, we got someone solid on there with experience in the NFL. And, we had someone that the players will respect.
Exactly.
And
Howard Mudd, who knows how, I mean, we love him. He's great. Who knows how much longer he wants to be here, because he might retire or something. He's getting up in their age. Yeah. Jason Peters is the future.
Yeah, the future. Yeah, because think about it. I mean, what if it came to a point, right? And this is ridiculous, but what if it came to a point where this guy could be a player and a coach, first of his kind in the NFL, where he could be on the sideline.
Yeah, first of his kind in recent, because I'm pretty sure in the past Probably in the 40s or some shit. Like, they did do that.
Yeah,
Because
in
you
the
know, it was
40s.
really weird. Like, one of our best ever, Chuck Bednarik, went to school with his grandsons.
Yeah.
He actually played both ways. He was a great center and even better, I think it was a linebacker or D lineman.
But what I'm talking about is a player
and the coach.
player and
But
the
I'm pretty
coach,
sure
where-
they've done that too. The 40s
Yeah.
were a weird time for football.
Yeah, they were a weird time because like football wasn't as
Well, the
technical as it was.
The World War II drafted a lot of players, so a bunch of teams had to like combine and shit.
Yeah.
We actually, I'm pretty sure that's when we became the Steagles.
The Steagles.
So what the stealing ass Steelers did is they merged with our team, and then after the war was over, they didn't unmerge. They just kept our players.
Yeah.
Why did they win those Super Bowls? I don't know. But okay, actually, that's a good point you made about the tight end. Something, just a little shout out to Denver fans. If you're out there, Broncos fans,
Yeah.
I feel for you. Something that your team and the Lions don't seem to get. The tight end is not an offensive lineman. Get yourself an offensive lineman. Why are you
Motherfucker.
drafting a tight end in the top 10?
Yeah.
He might improve your run game a little bit, or maybe take something off one of the edge rushers. You need a tackle, like a solid guy in there. You need to rebuild your lines, not
Yeah.
your tight end, because you're trying to think, oh, this is the future and you can cash in stuff. Cut that stuff out. Draft a tight end in the 3rd or 4th round. Get yourself a tackle. Like the guy we got, Andre Dillard, he would have been
Yeah.
phenomenal for you guys. I'm glad you missed him because now we have him. But
Oh.
like, what were you thinking?
But real quick,
Yeah.
Chris, can you check the time on the voice recorder?
Oh yeah.
Because like I don't know if it has a time limit. I mean,
No,
because
no.
like this is our little makeshift podcast here, so
First time
it's like we're
goes.
going.
Yep, we're just technical, not difficulties, but we didn't make our T's
Yeah.
crossed and our I's dotted.
Whatever that.
Even on the electronics.
I know, right? Delete the gem, hit the Facebook, whatever sayings you guys say.
Yep. So that brings us to our next point. We had a projected left tackle for the future, Jordan Mailata. And
Yeah.
I had actually great faith in him because, he was learning under Jason Peters, who didn't have as much tackle experience. Hall of Fame offensive line coach Howard Mudd is going to be teaching him as well.
Yeah.
What do we do with him now?
I mean, me, man, I'm of the opinion that, yes, I think that we should work him on the end side first. You know what I'm saying? On the right side. I mean, because, like, Brandon Brooks, I don't think that he'll be ready to go in the season. I think that we should work him into the offense. And, maybe we could find either some more creative ways to work him into the offense. Because, rugby player, 6'8", 350. I mean, he's one of the biggest men in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Then, not to mention that he's also movement, because when you play rugby, I mean, I played rugby in college.
Oh, nice.
Rugby is a game that's like more similar to soccer.
Yeah.
Whereas like, it's all about like maintaining that motion and maintaining that sort of like cohesiveness with your teammates. And this is a guy who, when you line up for rugby, you line up in what's called the scrum.
Okay.
So the scrum, basically you line up and it's timed, but
Yeah.
you still flow with it. But then when the ball's on the ground, you do what's called a ruck. Basically, it's like
I remember that. Yeah.
you
Go
have
on
to
through.
you have to make a sort of like offensive line in that instant.
Yeah.
So I think that he's really good with the flow, and he's really good with also coordinating with the teammates. I think that if you work this guy in your line,
Yeah.
this guy's still.
Yeah.
I mean, he's naturally athletic. He has size. He has speed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, this could be a trend
Yeah.
for us, like for the NFL going forward.
So he'd be a great either backup tackle in case something, God forbid, happens to one of our tackles during a Super Bowl run. I can even see him at 2 other positions, which I'm not sure why we didn't use him as one of them, but I'll go over that one second. Center. Jason Kelsey, I mean, going back to our medical staff, he has all these like problems, hip, sports hernia, like torn quads. I don't know. It was a bunch of shit. He had like 3 different medical problems that should have taken him out. Each one of them should have taken him out for the season, but he's playing through. So like, credit to him, Warrior. Give him some more money so he stays around. He might not be around for more than that contract though, because the toll on his body. Like, I don't want to see him go. Never want to see anyone that good go, especially after he turned around. When I admit, I wasn't too fond of him at the beginning because it looked like he had some trouble with the 3-4 nose tackles. But now he's the best in the league. So can't get rid of him. If he does leave, we're going to love him and still cherish every moment that we have with him. But imagine, what, is he 6'7", Jordan Mailata? Like
6'8".
6'8". Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, nose tackle. You're not getting past that guy because when the line collapses like that, the guy isn't really pulling stunts or anything. He's just trying to push through you. You're not pushing through that guy. I'm sorry. Like, he's really too big. But you know, I don't know. Maybe like there is some problems of having too big of a center. I don't know. You know, I'm not an expert on centers, so maybe that's a problem. But the other position, I don't know why we didn't put him in at, like, even for short yardage situations, is running back. He's a rugby player. He's what? Do you catch the ball in rugby?
I mean, well, so like in rugby,
or you just hand it to each other.
Well, I mean, so in rugby, pretty much like the ball cannot go forward.
You have to lateral it, right?
Yeah, you have to.
This guy is used to catching the ball from laterals.
Yeah,
which is what a pitch is in NFL, and he's used to just mowing over people. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't have ran him for those short yardage situations. We were struggling in this season.
Yeah, because
with everything.
Because this guy, you know, I mean, like football in the '80s. I mean, you know, there are a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
But I can see this guy, you know, like the return of big man running. I mean, like
refrigerator,
you know, like the fridge, but much more athletic and much more built than the fridge.
Yeah, Fridge had unfortunate problems with alcoholism and couldn't keep his weight off. Which, you know, when you're already that big, having that much weight is just a natural. But when you're drinking every single day, it's like it just packs on. So, like, having him in such good shape, like running shape, not football, like, you know, let's do a play and then we'll pause. Do a play and then we'll pause. He used to run his ass down the field like every single play.
Yeah.
Either blocking for people or just taking it. Should have thrown him in there for goal line situations, for 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. He could have just knocked those safeties or linebackers on their ass.
Yeah.
They would have been like me trying to take on an NBA player.
Yeah.
Like, shit. Shout out to Jalen Mills.
Jalen Mills.
How does that happen? Jalen Mills, let's look up the heights. Getting off topic for 1 second. Let's look up the fight, or well, I mean, it is the fight. Jalen Mills, height.
I mean, height and weight.
No, I just need to know his height. Jalen Mills. Height, 6 foot.
I mean, that's actually good size for... that's actually like average size for a corner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and he was arrested for fighting Devin Robinson, a Washington Wizards player. So while we're looking up that guy's height, let's just talk about what happened.
I heard he won.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
Devin. Okay, so Jalen Mills is 6 foot. Devin Robinson is 6'8". He's a Washington Wizards player, Devin Robinson, who saw Jalen Mills in a Washington nightclub and just went up to talk shit. Like, hey, what are you doing in my hood? This is Washington. I'm tough and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He said that to a guy from Philly, 8 inches shorter than him. They took it outside. And Jalen Mills kicked his fucking ass. He was on... Oh, my God. He sent him to the hospital. He took him to town. How does that happen? Shitty-ass Washington. You think that you can mess with us? You think that you can do anything to us? What has your shitty town done other than hockey in any time recently?
They're basketball players. Like, I mean,
you guys are all soft. Like John Wall and them people. I'm glad we didn't end up with him. Like, think about it. Like, what have they done other than just put up like stats? They didn't win anything. Like, this guy is just a scrub, Devin Robinson, trying to start a fight with a football player.
Oh my God.
Contact sport, moron. What do you think's going to happen?
I know, right?
I don't care how much taller than you are.
Like, nobody's going to call a foul.
Yeah, and this is
in fights, bro.
We're used to Philly. Yeah. You guys tell us to watch out when we leave your guys' games in the parking lot. We're not afraid of you.
Yeah.
We're from fucking Philly. You just try that shit on us. Watch what happens. It doesn't matter how much taller or bigger you guys are. We'll take you down just like Jalen Mills did. Not promoting violence. Want to point that out. But good job, Jalen. That's our one per podcast.
Yeah, got you.
All right. Next subject. What is it, Andre?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so, you know, like, we had a good bunch of, like, free agents for the Eagles. I mean, Andrew Sendejo, you know what I'm saying, Malik Jackson, you know what I'm saying, who else? I mean...
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson. I mean, we got a couple of free agents, man. I think that, for the most part, it looks stacked, at least on paper. But there's still some guys hanging out there. Wait, Chris, can you bring up a list of?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
NFL free agents.
Yeah, because we still got Ndamukong Suh out there, right?
Yeah.
And then Ndamukong Suh would love to play for Jim Schwartz again.
He kind of would, but he also needs like a $14 or $15 million payday.
Yeah.
And he's only shown up in one playoff series. One run through the playoffs ever, and that was last season. I don't see him being like that great chemistry wise. He's not like one of the guys. He kind of seems like a big load. He's not the player he once was.
He's not, but he's still like he still can be that guy. I mean, I think he's still one of the top 10 D tackles in the league. Man.
Yeah, but where is he going to fit in? We have top 3 D tackle right now. We signed Malik Jackson. Vinny Curry is backing them up.
Because of the way I see it, man, is that. So imagine we got Fletcher Cox, we got Tim Jernigan, we got Lee Jackson.
Exactly. I forgot about Tim Jernigan.
There's
because 4 guys back there already who are really good, if not great.
But I think that honestly, man, he could probably play if him and Cox play opposite each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be a nightmare. Then on top of that, man, we could have even a rotation where we could have 3 of them on the field at the same time. And like a 4. We have a 4-3 bear.
Probably take
formation.
out Brandon Graham and throw him in there because Derek Barnett is the future at that position. Brandon Graham proved us all wrong, all the haters and everything. We'll thank him for that. But he's still not like, I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a top 5 pass rusher.
Yeah,
he just hasn't shown that, especially last year and every year but that Super Bowl year.
But the thing
maddeningly inconsistent. I don't even know how to say that word.
Yeah, but the thing about it though is that inconsistent. But the thing about it though is that he's a guy that's like, I hate to say it, man. This is very basic, but like he's a guy that's actually on the field.
True.
Whereas he's on the field and you have these great guys, great talent and everything like that. But like if they're not consistently on the field with injuries and suspensions and all that, how effective are they overall compared to a guy, who doesn't really miss a game? I mean, so like quarterback and running back, we pretty much have that figured out.
Yeah, although we could use another backup quarterback like what's his name? There was some guy out there that I felt like we could have gotten. Ryan Fitzpatrick would have been a nice backup, not like a starter or anything like that.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, I guess that most of the guys got taken. Kaepernick obviously would be a phenomenal backup, but he wants starter money, and everyone's just going to bitch about him, and I'm not going to be able to enjoy my games anymore because you guys are bitching about having a football player on the field, whatever, you can hate the guy. I personally don't hate the guy. You can see him just winning the games for us if he's a backup. But it's whatever. You guys have your own opinions on it, and I'll respect that. So running back, we're set. Yeah. Wide receiver, kind of set too. Tight end, overset. Offensive line, just replenished. Edge rusher.
We get you can't have too much of them, man.
You can't. And we are kind of unsure. What's his name leaving? Chris Long.
Yeah, because they always say, from the famous philosopher, Little Wayne, or should I say, the Wayne Carter III.
Yeah.
He has always said the most famous line: "Too much money ain't enough money."
Yeah.
And that's the philosophy that you want to go with pass rushers. Yeah, you can't have enough of them. You always got to have, somebody who's going to be threatening that quarterback. It's a passing league.
Yeah.
You always got to have that. And then you want to keep them fresh. And you want as many of those guys as you put on the field.
Yeah. But the problem is Ezekiel Ansah just got snagged up. And everybody... So I totally agree with you. It's just that the market isn't there anymore. The best guy available is Shane Ray, who's almost like Brandon Graham's in terms of inconsistent, great expectations, didn't quite reach them, and they decided to move on.
Yeah.
So he's just not a pass rushing specialist. It almost seems like he tries but doesn't sniff or get close to it.
Yeah, but
so some of the other guys are like Sam Acho, Connor Barlin, Coney Ely, like they're kind of scrubbed up.
Got you. Defensive tackle, man. I mean, I think we're pretty stacked at that group.
Yeah, we can always, honestly, I'd actually take Muhammad Wilkerson over Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
I haven't been following Muhammad recently, but I knew he used to be a beast. So maybe we'll roll the dice.
I'm still with the Sue. I'm still with the Sue Wop.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if we get him. I just worry that he's going to want to, some seasons he just kind of gives up. So, something's going wrong in midseason. Maybe he just doesn't want to do it anymore. Plus, I don't know if he wants to, share a role anymore. I'm pretty sure he wants the big money again. All right, linebacker. That's something we kind of do need. Although we did get some nice guys in the undrafted free agency pool list. And we
got
signed
Zach Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Zach Brown, who actually is great. It's kind of surprising to move on from him. Probably just devalued the position on that team, the Foreskins. Never going to say that name because I'm part Native American. But, they kind of just let him go. We picked him up. He had an injury last year, but hopefully he's still in his good form. But some people were saying we need to trade up and draft a guy. I kind of agreed on trading up and drafting one of those Devons, like the Devin Bush Steelers
one of the Devons.
But you need someone who's like the quarterback of your defense to be ready for it. You can't just get a guy, on the end of round 1 or even round 2 and say this guy's our guaranteed starter. It doesn't work like that. This is one of the harder positions to learn. You're doing it all. Yeah. Covering. You need to stop the run. You need to set the plays. You need to get everyone in place. Too much for put on a rookie's plate.
But I feel as though, that linebacker position being de-emphasized because, if you look at it, man, you have these, safeties that are stepping up. As long because, not many teams in the NFL have a definite deep threat. Don't get me wrong, you have a few, you got a few burners, wide receivers on different teams, but, a legit deep threat has the burners and got the hand.
Out. They're a dying breed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Short passing games and shit.
Yeah, but that's what I said, man. It's a legit deep threat. You got the burners and you got the hands.
And then everyone's just afraid to draft a Deshaun Jackson type because they see you just in their mind just playing him getting injured and stuff.
Yeah.
But they always prove you wrong, dude. Talent wins out. Sometimes you just got to take a leap of faith, guys. But that brings us to our next point. Deep threats. Who's blocking that? What position?
Well, that would be the corner or
cornerback
safety.
Or safeties. Yeah.
Yeah, we're stacked at safety.
That's what I was saying. Earlier we can put Vontae Maddox back on safety and have 3 safeties in there. Just use him as a hybrid linebacker. Honestly, throwing him at cornerback, he struggled. But when he was a safety, he was like a ball hawk. Yeah. So honestly, that's kind of the way I would run my defense. I might not even have as many linebackers. It's just put safeties in there.
Yeah, that's so far with the D line, man, that the Eagles got. You know what I'm saying? I could kind of see it air raid where as we could do formations without linebackers. We could just have safeties and cornerbacks.
Yeah.
And whereas as long as you have physical safeties and you have decent cornerbacks, I think that you can pretty much like cover the spread. I mean, you always will need linebackers, but I mean that position is like it's really being so de-emphasized, man.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
I mean, except for the Jets, who just pay stupid money to pay people, which is kind of as a result of, you know, that's kind of what bad teams do. They either go for flashy names to sell tickets, or they think that they're like a big name or two from fixing all of their problems, like the Jets. Like when they signed, I don't even know who they ended up with, because the guy who was originally going to go there ended up just being like, no, I'm going back to the Vikings. Yeah, so it was C.J. Mosley who went there. But the Ravens, they're a defensive team. They just let the guy go, C.J. Mosley. So that just tells you more than what a shitty-ass team that overpays everybody on like the Jets does. Yeah. Like, they're just trying to win like the free agency award, thinking that they're like, look at them. They hired Adam Gase as their head coach. You stupid? Like, he's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah,
he's not a people person whatsoever. You need to have like a leader of men. not just someone who's gonna creepy stare at you and yell all the time.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. They call him like a quarterback whisperer, and they say that about everyone who ended up playing with Peyton Manning, like things like that. Like, you know what I mean? People are really stupid. And they kind of called it out recently in the coaching hire system. Like, how did Adam Gase even get an interview with the Jets? Like, why did they even consider him? That's just the disconnect they have with reality. Like, I think the executives are just in a fantasy land, living rich. Like, they don't understand the things that we see out there. They're kind of playing like, poker with this. They're just betting in hands. Well, whereas people are not making educated decisions.
Well, that's the thing about it, man. I mean, like when I look at a team like New York, like they're I mean, because like I see. Because obviously we're biased towards the Eagles, right? Yeah, shamelessly biased towards the Eagles, but like,
well, I like to point out I don't hate the Jets. I just hate the people who are running it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I want everyone to beat the Patriots, and honestly, it's another thing. I kind of liked how Giants fans don't like you Jets fans, so I always had a respect for you guys.
But like New York doesn't have any more. Like, they're running out of hometown fans, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, because you look at a city like New York, like more and more transplants are coming into the city, and like they're really supplanting, the people who were originally there. Mm-hmm. And so for the most part, I mean, when you look at New York, it's becoming less and less of a hometown. Definitely. And a football game to them is becoming more so like going to a carnival, man.
Yeah. They're kind of like a baseball town with the Yankees and stuff. They're just towns like that. Like, look at the Boston Patriots. Like, I'm not even going to call them New England Patriots because they're the Boston. They play in Boston, don't they? Yeah. So what are they even talking about, New England Patriots? I think they just wanted more fans. But the thing is, like, once Tom Brady and Bill Belichick leave and they start sucking, like, those fans are going to jump ship so fast. Like, well, I mean, they're going to jump right to the Red Sox or the Celtics, like, because they're a baseball town and even like a basketball town.
Yeah, I mean, because the Patriots they play in Foxborough. Yeah. Yeah.
Where the hell is that? Is that in Boston?
No, it's in Massachusetts.
Okay. Is Boston in Massachusetts?
Yeah, but like, see...
They call it the New York Giants. They don't play there, so call them the Boston Patriots. You got... Gosh darn morons.
I know, right?
Morons. It's not the Boston Patriots. We only just celebrate everything in Boston.
I mean, I guess it's bridge to our next topic, which is, like, bandwagon fans, man.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I guess, good or bad, man. I think that, it's like Scrooge's cat. Yeah. If you want to be a physicist, they're both.
Yeah. Definitely. So something that I've heard most Eagles fans say is, I would sacrifice like one of my toes. I would sacrifice one of my fingers. Maybe even like it's gotten to the point where someone sacrificed their firstborn. Yeah. If the Eagles win a Super Bowl. Yeah. It happened. Our toes are still on our feet. Maybe that's why we didn't repeat. But like people, and myself included, said we'd take anything, just to get one Super Bowl. We'll deal with the consequences, like a quarterback controversy. That wasn't even a problem to me. People complaining, oh, we need Nick Foles or we need Carson Wentz. I was glad to have that because we won. That meant we won. Yeah. Guys, like, think of it that way. So, like, bandwagon fans is a result of winning. Yeah. We weren't getting real, as many bandwagon fans when we didn't win the Super Bowl. So, shit, this is the bill coming due. You didn't chop your toes off, so you got to deal with bandwagon fans. It just means that we're good. Now, they're annoying sometimes because they don't know anything. And there's nothing wrong with a bandwagon fan who doesn't know anything at all. But don't act like you know things. Yeah. Just ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd be happy to tell you my opinions, which I'll say are either right or wrong. You know what I mean? You still got to make your own determination. Yeah. But like when it came to arguing online with a fan who's saying that we need to worry about the Patriots because they signed Demaryius Thomas, and I told him we don't even play the Patriots this year, and he's like, oh, we played them last year. I'm like, no, he said we played them last year and we lost in the first game of the season. And we played the Falcons and won in the first game of the season. So it's just like, dude, like, what the heck are you doing? Just like, this is really annoying to talk to. Like, if you don't know something, just ask. Not a problem. We'll tell you. Well, but because, if you don't act like you do.
Well, I think like really it's just like sort of like you're gonna get more bandwagons nowadays because like you got the social media generation. I mean, and then like
we're the coolest athletes though.
Yeah, the coolest athletes. But it's like with the social media generation, man, you know, if you show yourself that you're aligned with the winning team, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, we won a Super Bowl in 2018. Oh yeah, you know, Eagles Birds all day. You know, and it makes for a good Instagram picture and things like that. I mean, so that's why, you know, you get more bandwagon fans now. But I think that, you know, of course they're good for the team. I mean, they're good. Bandwagon fans are good overall for the NFL because they bring in most of the money.
Yeah, they do.
For the NFL.
You need bandwagon fans. You can't have a sport without bandwagon fans. And that's not what any of my complaints are about them. I support bandwagon fans. I want more. Because what does that mean? Heck, it means we're probably going to win a Super Bowl. Yeah. So bring them on, bandwagon fans. You're welcome. I'll invite you guys. Heck, I don't even care. Like, I love bandwagon fans if they're, like, energetic, fun to be around. Yeah. I mean, heck, they don't have to know too much about the sport or whatever and just admit it. I'll invite you to my parties. We can watch some games together. Yeah. Bandwagon fans, you're welcome in Philadelphia. Just, you know, don't really start arguments about certain things.
Just enjoy the show, man.
Just enjoy it. Come with us. We love you. You're one of the bros. You can call yourself a diehard fan. That's all right. I don't give a crap. To me, whatever. You're one of us. You're immediately one of us. We accept you. Bandwagon fans, you're welcome in Philly. Keep winning. Let's do it. Next. Okay. We have... we kind of brushed on it when I was talking about the bandwagon fans. But something else that worried me, which was also actually brought up when I was talking about the O-line, Carson Wentz's health. I almost feel like I have to talk about this softly. I don't want to hurt him. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen. Shoot, he's our guy. You know, he went through some stuff. He admits it. And that was a good thing, you know, when he admitted that when he came out of the Super Bowl, he wished it was him and he was a little bit jealous. That's fine. Then the next season came around and he pushed to come back earlier than he needed to. As a result, he ended up, you know, injuring something else because, I mean, you need a long time to recover from an ACL. Not everybody is, what's his name? Adrian Peterson. Not everybody's Adrian Peterson. Like,
superhuman type.
Yeah, so like you're doing like weird like moves and stuff, like more like jumps and I don't know, but like not everybody just comes back that quick. And when you're pushing more energy using your back or your arm because you're not using your legs, that's gonna put a strain on it. So he strained his back and whatever happened, like I mean, it could have been just from a hit, but still, I'm pretty sure that was something to do with it.
And like that concern is brought up because you know. I mean, we think that Carson Wentz has, you know, the talent of a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Definitely.
Right?
MVP candidate.
MVP candidate.
If healthy, and also if he's not mentally checking himself out of this. Yeah. Which was another thing I was trying to talk about, like the reports of him being a selfish teammate. That's fine. But when the reports are coming out that you're intentionally not doing certain plays because you're saying that's Nick Foles' stuff, that is not Nick Foles' stuff. That's winning stuff, dude. Yeah. Do it. It doesn't matter what they're saying. I mean, you can change the play in the huddle, whatever, but stop like taking out some things that are working. Whatever works, do it. And then a year from now, when you win a Super Bowl, we'll be saying it's your stuff, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like, just I mean, also, like, he just, like, kind of wasn't targeting, not that he was over-targeting Ertz. He was targeting Ertz too early in the game. Yeah. You can't build your team and run through a tight end as easily as you can go downfield with Alshon Jeffrey or something. He wasn't targeting Alshon Jeffrey as much as he should have. He might have targeted him a lot, but there was plenty of times if he just waited like 1 or 2 more seconds, Alshon got wide open farther down the field instead of that kind of check down. You hear Ertz yelling in the sound whatever things. He was yelling out, cars, cars, cars. Like almost immediately when the play started and he's trying to get the ball catch. Yeah. How is he like I always hated that. Like when I was playing soccer, I was kind of forced to play. And one of the worst things was when like one of the guys just would yell at me the entire game. The ball comes close to me. He starts yelling at me what to do. That just is like degrading and I don't even want to do what he's saying. So like, you know what I mean? In relating to football, like it's just unhealthy when you're demanding the ball like that, yelling it. Of course he's going to look to you. He's going to be nervous that you're going to come back to the huddle and say, "Hey, I was yelling at you. Why didn't you target me?"
Yeah, I think a lot of players do that on the field, though. I think that
but
it's different. It's different in practice, whereas like you run through the plays, like you run motions and all that.
Yeah,
and like basically like you execute that just so that for the most part, man. I mean, you're a player.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like practice, like I think that a lot of players just like they go through the motions in practice. You know what I'm saying. Whereas like they're going to do what looks good to the coach so that they get through, but like really they want to play the game. I don't think any player was really excited for practice.
No, definitely not. And I mean, it's not dissing Ertz. We're not saying Ertz like, hey, that's a problem. We're saying that it like, well, actually, maybe I was saying that was a little bit of a problem, but we're not saying anything against you as a player, as a person, or even your attitude. We want kind of guys that are saying, cars, getting the ball because you want to win. You think that you're the best in the game and that giving you the ball is going to help us win.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. What we do have a problem with is, I guess, when that starts to get a little excessive. Now, if you yelled that and he wasn't, I guess, targeting you way too early and often when someone more downfield was open, it's completely fine. But, like, we're just a little worried, anyone just not really like demanding the ball, but demanding the plays be formatted to like them as opposed to what's open, what's working, things like that. Well, so Ertz and Carson, we still love you. We still like you. I mean, you guys are gold in our book. Shit.
I mean, yeah, because that sort of like said, I think that last year, I mean, we had a lot of people injured. We had a lot of people just like come back.
Definitely.
And the offense really couldn't gel together, man. But it's like this year, I feel as though like we're deep. And sometimes like I have a question, man. Like, just from looking at because I've been an Eagles fan since I was like maybe 12 years old, or 11 years old in 2001.
I was around like 15 or 16.
Oh, 15, 16. Yeah, man. Because like I look at it, man, and I've always kept up with the roster and. And I played Madden, so I've seen the overalls. I was been excited to see, the overall for the team and the players on Madden every year. But my thing is, to me, this looks like the most complete team on paper, at least.
Yeah.
Going into the season that I've ever seen as an Eagles fan.
Yeah, and I mean. Kind of bring it on the last point, just because I forgot to mention something. We can't be a complete team without you, Carson.
Yeah.
So, like, we love you being gung-ho and going for extra first downs, but sometimes you just got to throw it away, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to take a business decision and let it get out of there, because, I mean, there are situations where you have an open field and run. Get it. Heck, you can even dive forward first occasionally. But it was getting to a point where a little too much it seemed like you just wanted to make something that wasn't there and risking your body unnecessarily.
Yeah.
When, you could have gotten 1 or 2 extra yards, and that's fine. That's good. 1 or 2 extra yards instead of a sack.
Yeah.
But, like, taking hits, dude, we don't want to see you getting hit. And that's going to, I mean, you saw the guy on the Panthers who arm-barred you or crowbarred your arm. Like, that's going to happen. Like, and if you get an opportunity to hit someone gets an opportunity to hit you, they're going to try to take it to go as hard as they can, hurt you because you're our quarterback and we need you. So, moving on, most complete team on paper in the history that I've been watching. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I kind of missed that T.O. era. And, I mean, obviously we didn't have the receiving core. This is maybe one of the best receiving cores in the league right now.
Yeah.
As long as, Carson, you don't even have to target Alshon Jeffrey more now. Make sure you're getting Deshaun the ball. That's the one guy, even if you're missing, it's going to draw the defenders away from the running back situation. I mean, shit, we just went over the positions earlier in terms of free agents. Safety, we're set. Like, what's his name? Malcolm Jenkins. Hey, you guys, if you don't like him because he's talking loud or whatever, who cares? He wins us football games.
Yeah.
He can say whatever the hell he wants. Like, I don't give a damn what he says.
Yeah.
He wins us football games. We were in jambles after Brian Dawkins left. That was like the source of our dysfunction on defense, not being able to tackle, and him.
Like, who do we have? Like Kurt Coleman,
who ended up being good later. We had Jaquan Jarrett, Nate Allen. These guys that
Eric Rowe.
Yeah, and that was like, well, Eric Rowe, he could have been good if we stuck with him.
Yeah,
he just was okay. Well, I think he was a cornerback.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying, like we did play him as a switch safety from time to time.
Yeah, I must have missed that then.
Yeah. So,
but like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, we just, once we got Malcolm Jenkins, even if we didn't have the second guy, we were much better as a defense consistently and just learning how to tackle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cornerback, as much as people say we're not good on cornerback, guys got to realize we were on like our 10th starting quarterback last year. How many people got injured? Yeah. So a couple of these guys are pretty good when they're healthy, and there's no way possible unless our medical team does whatever the hell they did to one of their meeting sessions. Like, maybe they sprayed some poisonous gas in there or something.
My thing is that, like, I guess, like, through our cornerback situation last year, I mean, we found, like, I guess the positive we can take away from that is that, we found a couple of, like, bright spots, man. I think that
can come back healthy, and we know they'll be solid.
Yeah, for instance, like Trayvon LeBlanc. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody
Rasul
knew.
Douglas, actually, I kind of like him as a number 2 cornerback.
As number 2?
And then Jalen Mills is going to be healthy for the slot.
And then Avonte Maddox,
who I think we should throw in safety because he was just much better there. Yeah. Ronald Darby's not back.
No,
we did. Yeah, we got him back. We got Ronald Darby back. Yeah. Darby, actually, I kind of don't really like Darby. I feel like, well, it's mostly Jim Schwartz's defense, but like everybody lines up 15 yards off of the receiver so they can get an easy first down for no reason. Jim Schwartz, you got to, dude, like, what the heck? Like, why is it that I am a fan and I see that and I can fix that, but you just are so stubborn that you can't? You want Tom Brady throwing another 500 yards against us? Yeah. Look what he did against a good defense, like 100 yards. That's what should have happened to Father Time right there. But anyway, moving on to the cornerbacks, they're going to be a lot better because our pass rush is fixed.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name was out last season for most of the year. Tim Jernigan was completely gone. When he came back, actually, we started doing better. Then the guy on the left side, the pass rusher, the rookie from 2 years ago.
The rookie, pass rusher, Derek Barnett.
Derek Barnett.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know why I didn't remember his name. Blanking because we're going on for too long. I love that guy. Best bend in the league coming out like I've seen in a long time. Broke Reggie White's sack record, and I don't know. I find extra meaning in the symbolic things like getting him, and then Vinny Curry being from around Philadelphia area. We drafted a couple people that are like really close to the Philly area. Like, it's just good vibes. Yeah. Like, I love it.
What's our
linebacker? We plugged it in. We maybe could use a backup, but trust me, guys, a lot of people are freaking out. Look at this guy that we picked up as an undrafted free agent. I think we might even drafted like a 5th round or 6th round linebacker. But there's this guy, undrafted free agent. I think at least after a year learning under Zach Brown, be pretty good. I mean, so we'll be good. Yeah. Defensive tackle. I mean, we have one of the best D lines in the league, and everyone's afraid of us. It's like they're gonna eat Eli Manning alive. Yes. Whoever they throw back in that foreskins backfield, alive. Yeah. Every time Dak Prescott, drops back for the pass. Yeah. Alive. The guy, oh man. But I mean, we add Sue, there's just more to it. But I just think he wants a bigger payday than we're willing to give.
Yeah, I mean, we went over the free agents and all that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what we want to talk about next, or?
Next subject. All right. To trade or not to trade?
To trade or not to trade? Nelson Aguilar.
I would say trade him. It's almost like the Donovan McNabb situation where, yes, Donovan McNabb was still good when we had him, more so because he was in a great system and had receivers and a running back for the first time in his life. But, like, when the value is there and he's not going to re-sign, you have to get rid of him. I'd rather put Mike Wallace in, like, the slot or whatever. Like, I mean, get one of those receivers that we drafted in this year or even in the past.
Because like I like Mac, man. Mac, you know, because like deep threat. You know, what I'm saying him and Deshaun Jackson in the field and the 3 wide receiver set.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm saying they're going to take the top off.
Mike, I mean.
Huh?
Mike Wallace, you mean?
No. I mean we don't have Mike Wallace.
You said
anymore.
Mac.
No, like Mac Hollins.
Oh, Mac Hollins. I forgot his first name.
Oh,
he's pretty solid. He'd be a good slot receiver. He just, had the injury last year, but he was still pretty good.
Yeah, he was showing up, man. I mean, to trade or not to trade. I mean, who else, man? I think.
That's a good one. Okay. Big V.
Big V. I think that Big V can be similar to Isaac Seumalo.
Yeah.
But then again, man, I really, I'm really hoping on the Mailata kid. So for the most part, man, I think that it's just, I think that if we were to get a good deal for him or something like that, second or third rounder,
I can see that happening. You look at around the league, tackles, people still need him.
Yeah,
really big position, and he showed up for that Super Bowl run, so you don't get much better than the big games.
Yeah, you don't get much better than that. To trade or not to trade?
Probably not going to get rid of any of our tight ends.
Yeah.
Running backs, we're kind of in a good situation. Most of these guys are either the rookie or they're on their last year of their deal, and we don't really want to, re-up with them. So, who else is there?
That's like trade.
We're pretty complete when you think about it. Like what we were talking about earlier, we don't have anywhere. If anywhere, maybe Ronald Darby or one of those other cornerbacks. We could probably trade one of those easily. Actually, let's look up Eagles cornerbacks.
Yeah, because like I see. Yeah, yeah, because like we're pretty much stacked at cornerbacks right now.
All right, let's sort it by position. Okay, Blake Countess
signed him.
We just signed him. Wow, Ronald Darby. He was the guy that I actually thought we should trade or get rid of, honestly, because he's just so
injury prone.
Well, not just injury prone. He bites too easily. So he's like a worse Asante Samuel. Asante Samuel will get burned occasionally from trying to bite or jump the route, which is what biting means. But what Ronald Darby does is way too much. Plus, he's like the worst tackler on our team.
Yeah,
I want guys that are just going to get the guy down, problem solved.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Rasul Douglas, he's solid, low contract. We should keep him. I could actually, though, see us trading Sidney Jones.
I think that we still got to give him a chance, man. I think that, he's just coming off those injuries. I mean, he's
back to back.
And I think that if he continues to show a pattern, an injury pattern, I think we should definitely look to like trade him, whatever.
But people aren't going to want him if he's getting that injury pattern.
Yeah.
Remember Brandon Boykin?
Yeah, Brandon Boykin. Yeah, he went to Steelers.
Tried to hide his knee injury. Did not work out when he got to the Steelers.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
And everybody was like, "Oh, play him." We were like, "Screw you, Chip Kelly. Why aren't you playing him?" And that's why.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why. But I think that we gotta wait and see for him, man.
Cravon LeBlanc.
We definitely keep him.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a way hell because like he came out of nowhere last year.
Oh, low contract and everything. Jalen Mills. Now I want to talk about Jalen not as a trade subject. Why we need him. Did you guys not see last year when we were on our 10th string cornerback? People were like, "Oh, Jalen Mills lets up big plays," and then he only shores up when we get into the red zone. So, at least he does that.
Yeah.
No one else who was on the team was doing anything close to that. It made you realize, hey, maybe we could use a slot cornerback who's really good at that.
Yeah, because I don't feel comfortable with him on the outside, but I think that in short yard situations, I actually do feel comfortable with him.
Yeah, it's just, going back to the scheme. Lining your slot cornerback way too back up off of some of these tight ends, of course the guy's going to catch it real quick and run him over.
Yeah.
He's good at, pressing them at the line. So we just need to shore up our positioning, fix that. Didn't we just sign, no, it's a defensive back.
Yeah.
Jeremiah McKinnon.
Okay, got you. So I guess that's it. And then I guess the last segment we got is the Swan Song, man. So, you know what I'm saying? And going to the new year and all that, we had a lot of players over the years that have contributed.
Yep.
They really helped the Eagles out a lot. Mm-hmm. But like just like anything else, like the passing time, it's the swine song, man. That's what it is. It's like I guess we'll just like highlight players who we think that it's their in the road. They're in the road, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, the obvious is Jason Peters.
Yeah, on his last legs. We love him. Going to be great to see him go.
Yeah.
It's not one of those situations like Dawkins where you had to get rid. We didn't have to get rid of Dawkins too early. He just gave him a disrespectful contract and he left because he didn't feel respected and.
Yeah, he did a big up job in Denver though when he got traded.
Exactly, because he was still worth every penny.
Yeah, and then I mean, who else? I mean,
look at Jason Kelsey. He's on his way out. He talks about it a lot. I mean, well, at least it's making the news. So, like, in 2 years, he's probably going to be gone. Ring of Honor easily. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Ronald Darby. I think
he's really young though.
Yeah, he's really young, but like, look, man, we got him on a 1 year contract, right?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, if he doesn't turn out this year, he's retired.
Yeah. He you know, like we're gonna dish him off, or if he gets injured again, if he gets another like season injury, yeah, like he's gone.
Okay,
like straight up.
Oh, actually, someone who's not like done, maybe retired, but someone we should probably trade, Wendell Smallwood.
Yeah,
he is in a logjam behind everybody. Doesn't do anything particularly well. He does best when no one's expecting anything of him, but he's not going to be able to be anything other than like a change of pace back, which we have like 3 or 4 of.
Yeah.
So we could probably flip him for a 4th, 5th round pick. I mean, anyone who's just desperate for a running back during the season or injury happens.
But the running back position is just like it's so. How can I say? I mean, I wouldn't say expendable.
It's devalued. No one cares about it. But at the same time, who's that guy that we have as a GM?
Joe Douglas.
Sort of, yeah. Howie Roseman.
Oh yeah.
You forget the name.
Yeah.
If anyone can convince some other random crap team to part ways with the draft pick they actually need for somebody they don't, it's Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. Is it he's got like photos on other people, or maybe he's just sleeping with everyone's wives? Like, who knows what he's doing? Like, damn. Like,
I mean, shouts out to Howie, man.
Yeah, can't talk about too many things just in case we hit the nail on one of the extortion attempts that he's doing on these other GMs. But keep it up, Howie. Like, shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you knew that you found out you weren't the greatest drafter in the world, so you got in Joe Douglas and that other guy that just went to the Raiders. Don't lose Joe Douglas. Don't get a big head. Realize what you're best at, which is the salary cap and these trades that are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Replenishing everything. It's not a problem if you're not as good at one thing.
Yeah, because
like the draft.
I don't see him as a player personnel guy.
No, and that's completely fine. I know he loves the draft and everything about it, but sometimes like you can love things afar, dude. You know, it's you did what you had to do. You know, we're talking now in past tense because obviously you've changed, and we hope that you stay this way. But Howie, damn, I thought everything was terrible with you. I thought, I don't even want to say it, but you proved us wrong, and man.
You really got going. I mean, especially over the past couple of years, man. Like, I mean, I think he went to the Dagobah system.
Yeah,
and
learned from Yoda.
Yeah, you learned from Yoda. Yeah, I mean, he's like, he learned to stand on top, upside down with one hand on top of a rock and lift up the, the X-wing. Like,
Or maybe he just got a new ride at Barlow Chevrolet.
All right, man. You want to?
Yeah, all right. Let's wrap this up. Well, that was our first session right here.
JawnZone.
Super long. JawnZone. JawnZone.
Yeah.
That's the name of our podcast as of now. Might change. You want to give us a better name? Suggest it. Let us know.
Think we suck?
Yeah, maybe let us know in the comments. Heck, I don't care. You think I suck? I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna talk or whatever. I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
So it's nothing personal if you dislike us or think we're ugly or whatever.
Oh yeah, just, wait, before we leave, I'd like to play attention to our sponsors. We are sponsored by no one.
Yeah.
So if you want to give us money to mention your name on our podcast, do it because
money, please.
Yeah, money, please. Mm-hmm. We will put your sponsor on it. We will put product placement. we are sellouts, baby.
Yeah.
Sell the fuck.
Doesn't matter what part of my body you want to cover with your material or your advertisement. We will do it.
We will do it.
All
right,
right,
man. Signing out.
Signing out. JawnZone. First session. Thanks for stopping by.